Hello, all. This is me. I know we're not starting quite yet. I just want to hop in here and apologize. I kind of fucked up on this recording, so Ben's audio is going to be way kind of down relative to mine, and I didn't want to just boost it because then it's kind of recording through the same track, so if I just boosted it, you would just hear me, like, breathing through the mic, and that's not good. So I'm just letting you know here. Sorry, it's kind of fucked up. We're doing a lot of restructuring stuff, trying to get stuff set up, but I wanted to make this for the video that's coming out later this week. Anyways, that's out of the way. Sorry about the audio problems. Recommend with a pair of headphones, otherwise I might get lost in the sauce. Otherwise, hope you enjoy. Hello, and welcome everyone out there on the internet to An Idiot's Guide. Today, Ben, I feel like it fits.
Hello.
Would you like to tell people what we're talking about?
Today we are going to talk about Ben 10 and like all the lore behind it and all that shit, alien shit.
Have you read the slideshow?
Yeah, Ben 10, he's no ordinary kid. Is that what you wanted me to say? Is that what I
Yeah.
was supposed to say?
No. I was just testing you. By the way, I realized we don't have like an intro to like our audience in big quotation marks here. Like on the main channel, I say ladies and animals, like welcome ladies and animals. But we don't really do anything like that over here.
Ladies and boys and girls of the jury, court is in session.
Okay, An Idiot's Guide is now in session. But yes, we're talking about Ben 10. This is a wild one that I've been doing research for an upcoming video that will be up probably in about a week's time, at least by the time you're seeing this. Or it came out yesterday and this is coming out in the day after. Which in case, how did you like it? If not, it's coming out soon. But I've been doing research on it, and Ben 10 is kind of fucking crazy. So today we're doing an Idiot's Guide. We're just going to break down the basics. We're going to go through his main connotation, which is like the regular series, Ultimate Alien, and then Omniverse, and then like the reboot stuff we're not touching.
Back it up. Did you say connotation? Do you mean continuity?
Continuity. What did I say?
Yeah. You said contentation.
Contentation? I don't even know if that's a word. I think I meant to say connotation, but
Yeah, something like that.
I'm making up words. But we're talking about Ben 10 today. The main continuity of all three eras, plus some other stuff like his allies, his grandpa and the plumbers, and all the different aliens. We don't have a comprehensive list of the aliens, just a few notable exceptions and all of that. But anyways, plus also a very, very special section at the very end, so I hope you stay tuned for that, because it's going to get wacky. Are you ready, Ben?
I believe it. I was born ready.
All right, let's get into this. So starting off, we're going to go through just the kind of general timeline of Ben 10 and the original content. No, I can't say it anywhere. Continuation. Continuity.
Continuity. There you go.
Yeah. So we're going to go through the Ben 10 Classic series from 2006, the Ultimate Alien, and also I think it's called Alien Force. There's like two different series that are kind of the same, and then Omniverse. Ready?
Alrighty. No, I'm ready.
So, if we start off in the Classic series, this is when Ben is 10 years old. He's out with his grandpa Max and his cousin Gwen. They're out camping. Asteroid hits the Earth. Ben, as a stupid little kid, goes investigates it, finds a watch. The watch attaches itself to Ben, and he can no longer get it off, but the watch, which we know as the OMNITRIX, gives him access to 10 different aliens.
Guys, you get it? It's like, I get it like Ben 10.
Ben 10. He's also 10 years old, and his last name, his full name, is Benjamin Kirby Tennyson. His last name is Tennyson. So Ben Tennyson, at 10 years old, found a magical space watch that can turn him into 10 different aliens. I hope you're following, because there's a lot of 10s.
There's a lot of 10s. A lot of them. Yeah, that's like 3 10s right there.
So, we got these, and then let's just run through the original 10 aliens right here. You want to go ahead and take that, Ben?
You just want me to name them off?
They're right there.
Yeah, I know, but okay. So the original 10 aliens, first up we got 4 arms. The big red guy with the 4 arms. Big surprise there. Rickshaw. Is he the fish guy? Is that the fish? That's the
Yeah,
fish-looking motherfucker.
it's like the sea creature dude.
And Accelerate is what he's like the zoomy
He's like
one, the blue
Flash.
one with
Yeah,
he's got the wheels on his feet.
yeah,
He's got like the motorcycle helmet
yeah.
on his head. Gray matter,
Imagine
which
being
is
an alien
smart.
with like a built-in helmet.
Well, what's your special ability? I go fast.
I
have a
wonder-
built-in motorcycle
I
helmet.
don't
with a
know, because
visor.
some of them have like clothes and some of them don't. I don't know if with Accelerate, if that is just built, like if they're born, like, are they born out of like eggs and they got like a little tiny like mask as babies? I don't know that.
Look at he put down his visor for the first time, sweetie.
It's like saying data, like,
Look at that. And then up next you got Gray Matter. That's a short little midget gray dude.
yeah, it's the
I don't know
tiny
if I can
one.
say that.
Oh, he is on the image. I didn't even realize he is in this image. If you look at the bottom of Diamond Head's feet, he's like hiding. You can
Oh,
barely
he is
see him.
there. Ghost Freak. Like, do you know anything about Ghost Freak?
He's a ghost. I think there's backstory stuff. I didn't look into it too much. I know there's backstory about like it's related to a thing that's like trapped inside the Omnitrix.
Yeah, well, do you want me to explain it now, or do you want me to wait?
You can go for it.
I think when he first turns into Ghost Freak, you find out that like Ghost Freak is like an actual like living like persona that like escapes the watch and like takes over Ben.
Yeah.
Like becomes in control of Ben like as its own person, and Ben's not in control of it. Yeah. It's the whole wild thing, and they gotta fight it off, and then he can't use Ghost Freak anymore for a while because then it'll come back out. It was crazy shit. I remember watching it
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
It's also the only alien I can think of that doesn't have the green eyes. All the aliens have green eyes to match like Ben's green eyes because they're like a mixed match of alien DNA and his DNA, so they all keep the green eyes except for Ghost Freak.
I think that's because he's sharing like a mental state with. I think he gets.
Well,
the
yeah,
green
because
eyes
it's like
later on,
it's not
after he
100%. Yeah,
After he 100% takes control of Ghost Freak.
yeah.
Up next you got Upgrade. Isn't Upgrade like it's like a synthetic life form? Isn't
It's
it?
like nano machines.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
and
sure.
And all it does is just literally it's in the
And
name,
it's-
Upgrade machines.
It's also the only one that isn't completely synced with his DNA because it's like incompatible with like, you know, like it's a machine. So that's why
Yeah.
like when he's upgrade, he can only upgrade things one at a time versus like the species that it's based on can like if they absorb something, they can like keep it and turn back into it at any time.
Right. That's dope. I didn't actually know that. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Diamond Head,
That's also why
Iceman.
upgrade
sorry, my bad.
like when upgrade speaks, it's just Ben's voice but like through a radio versus all the other ones have their own voices. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I guess it's not like an actual life form.
Yeah.
It's like the same kind of thing as Ghost Freak, where Ghost Freak's not like a life form. It's
A
just
tiny bit, yeah, but in like the opposite direction.
Yeah. Except you got Diamond Head. He shoots like little ice things. Isn't that his thing? He like freezes
Diamonds.
stuff? Yeah, diamonds.
Crystals.
Shoots diamonds.
Yeah. Diamond Head. I wonder what he does. He does ice damage.
Crystals. And then you got a Wild Mutt, which is like just dog.
It's a
Just dog.
monkey dog. Yeah.
Yeah, monkey dog. Stinkfly. Stinkfly was a crazy one. I thought it was a funny one. It's literally just icky.
It's a weird
bug.
one. He shoots
I
like
don't know if-
splooge
like
out of his
bullets.
eyeballs.
you know what? You know what it reminds me of?
Huh.
Bloatfly from Fallout. Like unironically.
Kind of. Yeah.
I think in the sense of just like the concept of the
It's just
character.
gross.
And then in OG, one of my personal favorites, Heat Blast.
Heat Blast is the very first alien he turns into as well.
Yeah,
He
I
turns
think
into it right
it's-
away and starts a forest fire.
Yeah, and I think that's why I remember it so much, because that was like I watched
Yeah.
the first episode.
I also
and that's
always get
pretty
confused by like the aliens that have like actors I recognize. Like Heat Blast is Steve Bloom, and I could never like not hear Steve Bloom. So that one always catches me off guard.
Yeah. I think is that all of them? He gets other ones.
That's the
like,
first 10,
in
yeah.
like the main continuity, he gets other ones like Cannonball and Way Big and
Yeah.
there's some other ones. Echo's a good one. That one was I remember that episode. That one was a fun one.
Yeah.
No. Echo's in. No, I'm thinking of Ditto. Ditto's the one that just like multiplies himself. He gets that one where he fights Animo, and that's the same episode where he gets Way Big, I think.
Yeah,
the Omnitrix
something
supposed
like
to
that. I don't think
explode.
he gets Echo
Yeah.
Echo until Ultimate or
No, yeah,
Alien
he doesn't
Force,
get Echo
whatever.
Echo. I got them confused because they Echo Echo's just like
They're
the
very
better version
similar.
of Ditto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also like the whole reason why he has, we'll get into it a tiny bit later, but like he only has 10 aliens because the watch has like basically a parental control lock, and it kind of like screws him over in a lot of the original series because he doesn't know how to control it. Like he always says it's got like a mind of its own, but really he just doesn't know what he's doing
He doesn't know what he's
because
doing.
it's an
Same thing with,
alien
like,
watch.
the timer stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the timer how he can't like if there's a cooldown whenever he like it times out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
like a
not
parent
something that
control
has
thing.
to be a thing. Like we find out later with like Ben 10,000, like his future self can be an alien for like basically ever.
And he can just like swap as he feels.
Yeah. And then the
Um,
main, not the main, but one of the prime antagonists of the original series is, of course, Gilgax, which is basically just like Megatron, but
hold on.
Cthulhu.
No. Did
What?
you say Gilgax?
Gilgax, that's his name, isn't it?
No. Vilgax.
Vil-
Not Gil. Vil. Vilgax.
Vilgax.
Well,
Sorry, I fucked that up.
Do you have the rest of the enemies in the slideshow, or do you want me to like slide through them too? Ones that I can remember.
I don't have like Animo or Kevin Levin or anything in here, but
Well, there's also like the Forever Knights,
yeah.
which is just like high tech knights. You didn't put Kevin 11 in there?
He's
Kevin
in
11's,
here,
like,
but not as a
huge.
villain.
Oh,
I have his
yeah,
like teen
like-
self in here.
I think Kevin 11 is also just a huge villain. Yeah, I can. Do you want me to go over some of them right now?
Yeah, you can go for it.
Or so
I just put Vilgax in here because he's like obviously like the main, like he's the very. We see Vilgax before we see Ben.
Yeah, like Vilgax wants the Omnitrix to stay with the universe. You know, you typical shit.
Yeah.
Homie is like scary though, dude.
Yeah,
Doesn't he have like? Isn't he like the ability? Like he's almost like Bane. He's got the shit that just makes him stronger.
kind of. Well, he
Yeah,
starts the
like,
series
he's got-
in like a Darth Vader life support thing because he gets blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude is an
My
absolute menace. He is ready to.
Favorite thing, like I'm rewatching
yeah.
the series or whatever, like to get back into it and stuff. And like one of the episodes, I think it's episode 7. It's like the episode right after that you meet Kevin Levin, where it starts off with like Vilgax trying to like plot how to like steal the Omnitrix, and he's like, whoever the wielder of the Omnitrix is, they're incredibly skilled and their their intelligence is to be commended. And it just cuts to like Ben 10 trying to steal like a sumo card or something
yeah. Where are you watching it on?
on Netflix. The main series is on
Oh,
Netflix, and then the other ones are like
Yeah, no, I
everywhere
forgot.
else.
You have American Netflix. I
Yeah.
don't have. I
You
don't
gotta get a
have
VPN.
Yeah. Whatever. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And then like Kevin 11, obviously, what is it? His whole thing is like the ability to absorb shit.
He can absorb
it-
energy specifically, but that's kind of like a very
Energy.
loose, kind of nebulous thing.
He can
Like
absorb,
he,
like matter and energy, and then when he touches the Omnitrix, he absorbs all 10 aliens. For a while there, he can switch between the two of them, and doesn't he touch it again, and it overloads him, and he gets stuck. As, Kevin
he
11.
he tries to steal it off of Ben, and then the Omnitrix like has a fail-safe thing that blasts him with energy, and that kind of like gives him all of them for a bit.
Yeah. Well, no, he not just even for a bit. He stays like that for a long time. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah,
Like he's stuck like that. I mean, the whole point is like Kevin 11 is the amalgamation of everybody. So
yeah,
he's like the 11th alien. You know.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. The Forever Knights they're basically just like your Templars, but futuristic. They come from their own little country thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, we're gonna kill the Omnitrix. Like, I cannot remember why. Yeah. Do you remember the purple assassin dude? Do you remember him at all? He was like the purple assassin dude. He had like the look of like almost like a Deadpool kind of look. Yeah.
I can't say I
And he had,
do.
like, and he had those two little short arms that would pop out of his side.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, he's like that's like vivid in my brain. I cannot remember.
Not
what
off the
his
top of my head. I don't remember as much stuff from the original series as much as I do like Ultimate Alien.
name- Oh, okay. Because I remember a lot of stuff from the original series. That was one that I watched.
I remember watching like the original series like one time, and then like I moved on to like the other one pretty fast
Yeah.
because that was like my favorite era of cartoons was like the Ultimate Alien stuff, and then like Generator Rex.
Yeah. No, I felt that. I know there's definitely more enemy like Dr. Animo, just like
Yeah.
weird creatures. Yeah, that's like his whole thing.
My favorite part about like his
Animal.
episode too, like his first episode where he makes like the mutant frog stuff or whatever, and he like tries to bring back
Yeah.
like the T-Rex, is that like
Yeah.
to him making a 10-foot tall mutant frog monster was easier than bringing a T-Rex back to life. And I was like, I feel like the T-Rex one is infinitely easier than making like mutant hamsters on the fly. It just feels like we're going backwards.
There was those circus freaks too. Those ones were wild. Like there's one of them that could like vomit up acid and whatnot. I remember them. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was
There's a lot of
it
weird.
was a lot
I
of,
like the shapeshifters from the old folks' home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, and
Yeah.
you know what? The other thing that I like that they do though is that they introduce like obviously the other alien species, right? Like forearm species.
Oh
in
yeah.
Some of the episodes and like Diamond Head and stuff like that. Like they actually go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Like I enjoyed that fact.
They go into it.
Yeah, in my mind, I think one of my favorite kind of villains from that era, personally, like design-wise, is probably Vilgax. Yeah.
He's just really cool. It's like a very like
And-
kind of it reminds me a lot of like the bad guy from Lilo and Stitch.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was just something about the way that his design is that it's like fuck. You know
Well,
what
he's
I
just
mean?
like Squid Megatron. Like it is just a pretty cool design.
And I think he only feels more threatening because he's going against a 10-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And they make him feel scary like throughout the galaxy, right? Like even with the plumbers and everything. Like I think one of the reasons I like a lot of the villains is that they feel up to par with what they need to be, but they don't feel like forced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Like Vilgax doesn't feel like a forced threat, he just feels like a natural threat. Same thing with
And it's also like a lot of them are
like,
just kind of a lot of them are just kind of doing their own thing, and then Ben just sort of happens to be there. Like he just happens to
Kevin
be the one at
Levin's
the
good.
watch. Or like
Kevin
Kevin.
11's a good example of that. Right?
Dude, also
Yeah, like if Ben ever
I just finished watching that episode, and like they go to like steal like a copy of that video game or whatever, and they break into the warehouse. They steal like one copy of the video game, and then all of a sudden 6 SWAT cars and 2 helicopters show up to this random warehouse, and they start trying to gun them down. And I was so confused. I was like, why did the SWAT team come up so fast on this one warehouse?
Dude, they're protecting it. They must guard the video.
Yeah, I was like, this seems like a little bit of an overreaction.
Truly. I think that's everything though that I can think of. If I think of anything more on there.
That's most of the main series. I mean, it's very like it's not bad, but it's very like standard kid show adventure type thing.
I think the fun part that they did with it though was the kind of the randomizer stuff for
Yeah.
OMNITRIX. So, like Ben would want to do Heat Blast, and they'd give him the alien to solve the problem, but it was a fun kind of mix-up.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
like it wasn't so direct
think
as
it
to like what he wanted.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna pick Heat Blast. It's like you know, as a kid, I remember watching it, and you got the kind of the notion after a while watching the the original series. Yeah, that you're like,
Yeah.
okay, so he wants to pick Heat Blast, but he's gonna get something like Wrecking Ball or fucking Forearms. You know,
Yeah,
Right.
and it forces him
Yeah,
to
I think-
work a lot off his. And I think the show does a good job of portraying Ben. He is kind of like an arrogant little asshole most of the time, but like he
Yeah.
is like a good person regard. Like the very first scene he has is like trying to stand up for like this nerd or whatever, and then he gets beat up. But
Yeah, like they portray him as like a hero, but like what I could only think of like as a child put in that situation, and I think they portray
Yeah.
that very well.
he's like
Yeah,
a little
and I
cunt,
think-
but he tries his best, you know?
Yeah, but I think that adds something to it. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Like I think they do it very well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun watching it, like rewatching it back, even as like a, fully formed adult now.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's everything though.
For the classic series, I believe so. Sorry. So we'll move on now to Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. This is a 16-year-old Ben. He's got more aliens. He's got more powers. He can do all sorts of extra shit. He eventually gets the ability to kind of like Pokemon evolve as aliens, where he can make them like a further evolved form of them, the ultimate form.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah,
by this
I
point,
think
he's
that was-
become multiversal, and he is like traveling to different universes and stuff like that. Like that's how the whole There's a line when he has like his Generator Rex crossover where he's talking about multiverses, and the scientist in Generator Rex is like, multiverses are just a theory. And he's like, no, I do that like every Tuesday. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like that's like my whole thing. That was a crazy jump, because Gwen in the original series would start practicing magic, and then you find an ultimate that like she's like a half magician person.
Yeah, she's like super magical.
You know, and that like Kevin Eleven's a good guy now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Aren't they dating?
I kind of like that dynamic though. No, yeah, and they're dating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's one thing with Kevin 11. I know I'm kind of going off the rails here. Yeah, but is that okay if I just kind of ramble for a
Go
bit
for
about
it.
the Ultimate Alien stuff like that? I think one of my favorite scenes with Kevin 11 is when he kind of like touches the Omnitrix or whatever, fighting somebody, and goes back to like the original kind of Kevin 11 but with a new set of aliens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was a fun thing, and I think Ultimate Alien and like Alien Force did a really good job of like keeping Ben, like showing what Ben would be like growing up. Like it didn't feel like a brand, you know what I mean? Like wow.
Yeah, it's like an evolution. It's not like a reboot or anything.
But they do that. But they even do that with Kevin 11, right?
Yeah.
You know, he's still a lot of the plumbers still look at as a criminal, and he just wants to be a plumber, right? And that's like his whole thing. And he gets the badge, and he runs into this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He runs into all these issues. Yeah. And I think like they really do that well throughout the series, and I think that's what I like about it. Yeah, and there's like lots of varying. I love the series because it maintains.
I think
stuff. I think Kevin 11 is my favorite though.
I think
that whole thing.
It's also my favorite era of like Ben 10, just because I think like all of the alien designs in like this era are like the best.
Sure.
A lot of them I really like. Even like aliens that like or whatever like are newer, like Wrath. I really like Wrath, even though he's just sort of like a different kind of forearms, but like especially voiced by John DiMaggio. Obviously, hearing like Bender or Marcus Phoenix like fucking yell at some like kid or whatever. But also just like the art style of like this era I like so much more. I love this like classic Man of Action style of animation that like Generator Rex uses too, and it's kind of like carried over by more modern series like Invincible has a lot of its roots in this kind of art style, and they move it in a much more like cartoony direction going forward, and I kind of just prefer like this look a lot more.
Okay, so wait, I was thinking about this. Now this is on the original series, but I just bring up one of my favorite scenes that was kind of like I remember watching this when I was older. Yeah.
What's up?
It surprised me because I think when I was younger, I don't ever remember the show having like any like huge like emotional impacts or like emotional moments.
Yeah.
Right. But have you watched the movie where he gets way big?
I have. It's probably been a very long time though.
Do you remember when every single time he used the Omnitrix, it got closer to like being like blowing up and killing the universe or whatever?
Yeah.
And like Gwen dies, and you just see Ben just like ready to kill the universe, trying to avenge his cousin.
Yeah.
Like trying to break down the door as Wrecking Ball. I thought that one was kind of nuts. And then Azimuth, the creator of the Omnitrix, comes out and resets it.
Yeah.
That's one of the few scenes that's like really. I don't know why it stuck with me. I think it was because it felt like a weird change of pace. You know what I mean?
The show's got a good, like, it can do a lot of cool stuff with the setting. Plus, it's such like a unique idea. Like, it's a watch that turns you into like aliens. You know, like it's.
Yeah, but I think it's also a fun idea because it's not some like badass mother like dude. It's like a child, and I think that's what makes it.
Well, that too. Fun, plus, it's like it's all about like his smarts and stuff, and like there's a lot of times where you see him like have to be capable like without the watch.
Yeah,
and that helps too.
And I think it's why I like the timeout function in the original series, right?
Yeah, because it forces him to be creative. He can't just go like, I'm forearms. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you now.
Yeah, and the timeout function and like the randomizer stuff, right? Yeah, that it forces him to be creative, it forces him to think. But I found the show wasn't afraid to put him in situations that would kind of be frightening for a 10-year-old. You know what I mean?
He fights a Leviathan in like episode 3.
Yeah, I think that's why I like Vilgax so much. Or all of them. Even the Forever Knights were absolutely just fucking brutal. But like Vilgax, and I think that's why I like him so much and I remember him so much, because it wasn't like a toned down type of villain. Yeah, that I think you find in a lot of shows now. Like, this dude was going to kill, like, a 10-year-old.
Yeah, he was ready.
Oh, fuck. And he was ready to kill everybody in front of him to get to this watch. He did not care. Yeah, and I think it's another reason why I like the show that so much is because of those moments, like the original series, right? Where they didn't hold back. They were like, here's Ben 10's arch nemesis, and he is a fucking monster.
Yeah, and he will murder.
Yeah. And he will murder you. He will rip your arm off to get that fucking watch. But no, sorry. I was just thinking about it.
He's just, yeah. It's just a good show. Like even like I think all the connotations. I haven't watched a whole lot of Omniverse, and I haven't touched any of like the reboot. But
yeah.
I mean, it's definitely like it's still very strong. Like even through like Ultimate Alien and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think all that kind of stuff is like, and I think anything after that, I've kind of stopped watching it.
Yeah. I remember tuning out of Omniverse when it first came out because I was like, this is way more like cartoony. Like I'm not into this. And then like I haven't like sat down and like watched it specifically yet, but like I've seen clips and stuff from it, and I've like read synopsises and shit like that, and it's like, oh, this doesn't seem as bad as like I may have written it off as when I was like a teenager. But yeah.
I don't remember it. It was kind of weird until you actually sat down and watched it.
Yeah,
personally,
because it is like a soft reboot.
The show plays the long haul narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, where a lot of the Ben 10 episodes from the original was very like episodic, like not like, you know what I mean, like one-off adventures that of course like still like all happened, right? Yeah, where I found like Ultimate Alien and Omniverse, whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was very like there was a story constantly going on, right? There were issues that would span multiple episodes.
I will say,
yeah,
regardless of like the art style and everything, Omniverse I think does have my least favorite Ben 10 design and the Omnitrix design. The Omnitrix just looks like a smartwatch. Like it's just a watch.
I kind of wish they kept the same design.
I think that black shirt with the green jacket was like that's like prime character design. I think it's so striking, like that bright green. But now like this one is just like a jersey, almost.
Yeah. Well, because Omniverse was Omniverse was like the soft reboot, wasn't it?
It's a soft reboot, but it's like it's kind of continuous and it kind of resets some things, but
yeah, because Ultimate Alien. That was like a direct continuation
like,
from the original stuff.
Yeah. Like you'll see some things that they like copy over. Like they do show Omniverse Ben in like his Ultimate Alien jacket at points or whatever. And then you have like Kevin Levin, and he's back to like his old school design from the original series where he's got like the lock around his neck and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like a mixed match.
I don't think I was a fan of the Kevin 11 design. I liked the Kevin 11.
I like the Ultimate design better.
Yeah,
I think the locket is cool that it's like a grounding thing for him to like get rid of energy, but like it looks a little too edgy to me.
See, but that's I think what I liked about it is that his design changed just like he did as a person. Right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That it wasn't like an
evolved
with Omniverse, that he just didn't feel like he evolved. He just got out of the like Kevin 11 alien transformation. It was like, I'm just gonna dress the fucking same.
Yeah.
Right?
Dresses the same when he's like 16 as he does when he's like 10.
You know what I just realized? Yeah.
Huh.
So like you know what the null void is in Ben 10?
I don't know off the top of my head now.
So that's like the supermax prison. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know?
The null void.
The null void. And it occurred to me, right, that Kevin 11 was like a child. They just straight up locked this child in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it just occurred to me, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait, like when did he?
Maybe
he was in prison. Like,
maybe Vilgax isn't Bane. Maybe Kevin Levin is Bane.
Yeah. I grew up in the darkness, man. Raised by it, molded by it.
Yeah. But that's about Omniverse. Like, I don't really know too much about the series outside of like the big stuff. I know that's where his greatest feats come from. Like, that's when he as feedback, and like it's kind of like a thing. He's using this alien called feedback, and the Omnitrix actually switches through all of his aliens, and he holds the Big Bang. So, as far as things we'll talk about soon, he's pretty strong by this point. Like, it gets insane at some points.
So before we continue, do you
Yeah, what's up?
remember any of the Ben 10,000 episodes, like the one from the original series?
I remember like the very, very first one when he first meets him, and that's the only one I can really recall.
Do you remember? That is one of my favorite Kevin 11 designs.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember like no, it was Kevin 11,000.
yeah,
Yeah. Do you
because they're
remember
all
that?
like,
Like that was
what are they?
yeah.
What is? It's also like Kevin 11,000. It's also like Gwendolyn Tennyson or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah. Because Gwen's like it's all like in the future, right? And there was something I think they did Ben 10 as an adult perfect, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think there's something about I don't know, it was just a fun episode. Yeah, it was
I
one
don't
that I
know if I
enjoyed. I
like
think
Kevin
I
11,000
liked it.
actually.
Are you looking at his original? Like the design? Like
Oh,
not no no
maybe
no no no
not.
no not his human design. Yeah,
The
I'm
big
talking like the
alien.
alien. The big alien. Yeah.
Eh, it's kind of, I don't
I
know. I
like
don't
I
really like Kevin, like the like Ultimate Kevin or whatever, because it's just sort of like a mix match of all the aliens, and it doesn't really like. It's like a Frankenstein kind of thing, and that doesn't.
I think
I don't
it's
really
yeah.
like that as much.
I don't know. Like I said, I think like comparative. I like that. But I guess what I mean more is that I like that because in that like they added on more aliens. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like they
yeah,
kept up with
they
Ben
introduce
getting
new
a shit ton
stuff.
of aliens, so Kevin gets a shit ton of aliens when he's like Kevin 11,000,
Yeah,
right? Like they continued that kind of and I think that's why I liked it so much, right?
yeah.
Sorry, we can keep going.
We just keep going. Now we're going to talk about the Omnitrix, all of its specific rules, powers, and like the kind of differences between what do you call it, like different Omnitrix variants and
Yeah.
stuff. So, trying to wake my brain up. So the Omnitrix works by taking an alien's DNA and merging it with that of the user. That's why, as we were talking about, every alien that Ben has green eyes. It has his green eyes, except for Ghost Freak, whatever. He's like kind of mixed. The the
As long as there's
Omnitrix.
not defects with the DNA.
Well, yeah, as long as it's not mutated or anything like that, he gets the ability to take DNA from mutants later. It's just kind of risky for him to do that.
Yeah.
And then the Omnitrix turns him into like the prime example of that species. So like say if he
Yeah.
wasn't human and he tried to turn into a human, he would turn into like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 70s, you know, like he would become the prime human. You know what I mean?
I think somebody explained this in a way. He wouldn't become the prime human. He would become, I think, a prime human, but Ben 10 prime human. Yeah.
Well,
Does
it's
that make sense?
relative to him in the way that like he is also the prime relative to his
No, no,
age.
no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. What I mean is that like if another alien had the Omnitrix after Ben, right? Let's say Vilgax wanted to turn into a human, he'd turn into the most prime version of Ben 10. Yeah, because it's copying Ben 10's DNA. Does that make sense?
I don't think that's how it works. I think it just is the prime of that
Well,
species because he also has the option to change between like male and female, so it's not the specific DNA of that one
when does
thing
he
that
have
he
the option to
copies.
change between male and female?
It comes up in some later thing where there's like a discussion about how all of Ben 10's aliens are male, but it seems like there's a scene in whatever episode that shows a female option and he just never chooses it.
Oh,
So it seems to just be
what series is that?
I don't know. I don't have the source in front of me, but I remember reading that when I was doing research on it. But it seems to
Hmm.
be just the
Because
general
because
species
I
as a
always
whole and not that one example. There are
because
singular examples
because
like
I because I was always remembered that I mean just looking at the original trilogy and also Matrix,
yeah.
yeah, that the way that it worked is that it was just the prime version of like the DNA of the specific alien. You know what I mean, right? Henceforth, why Ghost Freak, yeah, is its own living human being, right? Like its own living thing.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
it's a
Ghost Freak
copy
is
of
more
that
the exception
specific
and
alien.
not the rule.
Mm. But you see what I mean there?
But
Yeah.
because it's also different because the watch can also copy like specific one of a kind individuals.
Well, no, no,
Like I
no,
don't think
no,
it's
no, no.
Upgrade. I think it's a different one that he has that's robotic. And then it can
I think
copy
because
entire
there's a
species.
but there's one point I think in the original trilogy, if I'm remembering right. Yeah, comment. Tell me if I'm wrong. Where there's a point that Gwen gets to watch, or there's like a different kind of whatever, right? Yeah, and
Yeah.
all of the aliens are now female. Yeah, right. So I think it both. I think it matches gender, right? Yeah,
I think it matches automatically,
yeah,
but I do think he has the
yeah.
option to like kind of customize them a bit, and that might just be an option that he has like as like Ben 10,000. But like obviously, as
See,
we'll talk about, the watch is kind of
I'm
restricted for him earlier on.
only going to disagree with you for the specific reason that it combines his DNA with the aliens, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
and I don't think it just stops at the color of the eyes. I think there's the integral part,
I mean, there's
right?
definitely more
Yeah,
to it than that, but
yeah,
I'm but I'm not
I don't think
saying
there's a.
like if he scans like one
Yeah,
alien, it's not going to be like so like say like he scans a transformer, he scans Optimus Prime. It doesn't mean that every time he turns into a transformer, it's going to just be a prime version of Optimus Prime. You know,
yeah, it's gonna be yeah.
it's going to be the
I think
prime of whatever
you're.
Transformers can be.
It's. I think it's a. Like, did you read this in anything official, or is this just speculation?
It was a note from something. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I think
Okay.
I think I've read it. It was either on the wiki or somebody sourced it on Reddit. I mean, it was a theoretical thing because it never happens in the show, but there's like a frame of it or whatever showing up in the show. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess so.
there's something that
I don't know.
alludes to it being an option. It's just never shown like
I
directly.
have to. Because when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about the first two, like
Yeah,
Ultimatrix and the original. And if it's something anything else, then I'm probably wrong on that. But I'm looking at it that I remember talking
it might
about
have come
the
from
original
Omniverse. I'm not
series.
sure.
And I remember talking about in the original series in the sense of that like his DNA combines with them, which is why all the aliens are male. Yeah, and which is why if somebody like Gwen got the Omnitrix, right? Yeah, that all of the aliens would become female because it's combining all that DNA. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's a tiny bit. It's less
Right.
so that it's like combining the DNA and more so that it's like grafting it onto Ben's DNA. Like that's what allows him to be like that's why he can
Yeah.
only combine with certain species of aliens. Like Upgrade is like an exception because he's not really totally combined. That's why he uses his voice. And then obviously like species that aren't sapient, he can't transform
Yeah.
into. Like he can't transform into like a wolf. Like
Yeah.
it's too wild, it's too feral. It would just drive him insane if he did it.
Mm. No, and I agree. My point is that it's graft. I don't know. I not once in all my time talking about it with
We're
people has anybody been like, has anybody ever been like, well, he can customize the aliens? And I'm like, I don't think so, bro. Yeah, that doesn't. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll have to look that up and send it to you later. I'm very sure I read that. I just don't know where exactly from. I'd have to look it up on my notes or whatever that I was doing.
I'll
Anyways,
agree with you. I'll agree with you on the like. So, no, before we continue, I'll agree with you on just finding the ultimate, like being the ultimate apex of that species. I'll agree with you on that part,
yeah,
right? I think what I'm disagreeing is that it's the that he can't like customize. You know what I mean? Right?
I think it's
Yeah.
only so far, but it's like basic like changes or variants, you know, like male or female and stuff like that. Outside of
See,
aliens that are
and I
like
think I'm just
asexual and stuff, you know.
and I think that I'm just looking at it from like an original and a sequel thing that like you know what I mean?
Maybe,
I
yeah.
feel like if that was a thing in the original stuff, they would have done that at least once. Yeah, because that's
Maybe,
such a
or they
well
just didn't
honed.
want to
That's
confuse
such a.
it.
But
They, they didn't
yeah,
want to get
then that's what.
associated with a trans agenda in
Yeah,
2006.
true, true. But you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't feel like at least for like the first two, I don't think that's a true thing. Yeah.
maybe. The Omnitrix also produces basically an infinite amount of energy because it's a lot to turn you into a basically god that can rewrite the universe. So the Omnitrix, so much so that like if you try to break it, it will just blow up the universe.
Yeah.
If you don't,
Everybody will die.
if he doesn't
Well,
use it, if it
everybody's
just
dead.
sits for long enough, it will just blow up and destroy the universe. Uh, it's pretty messed up. And there's also like the whole thing of like the watch he has in the original series is a prototype, and that's also why it has a lot of issues, why it's like so easily hacked, and why it only has
Or
it
why
has
it
all
has,
these like
or why,
issues
or
with
or
like the
why when
timer and
he like
stuff.
when I think one of my I just remember this episode like when he gets sick, all the aliens got sick.
Yeah.
That was a weird fucking episode. Borns had like cysts or whatever, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? This is gross.
And then eventually, with the help of, I forget his name, the creator of the OMNITRIX, he gets the full upgraded version.
Azimuth, by the way, is the same species as gray matter for our listeners.
Yeah,
out
he's
there.
a gray matter alien.
Yeah, he's the same species as gray matter.
We can also talk now about some of the most powerful aliens in the Ben 10 universe. And right now, right away, I'm gonna forget the name of the channel, but there's a YouTube channel I would recommend you look up if you're interested in this, and our Idiot's Guide is not doing enough for you. I think it's called The Ink something.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't remember the name. I think you know what you're talking about.
I just want to make sure I get it right. I think it was called The Ink Tank. Yeah, The Ink Tank. So. And they basically do a lot of different Ben 10 episodes about like what aliens Ben 10 might be able to turn into, and like calculating the math of all of his feats and stuff. And that's where I'm getting a lot of these from specifically for this. Yeah. But yeah, he does a lot of crazy shit. So, are there any of the specific ones that you wanted to bring up, Ben?
Not really. I think I'm gonna let you handle this one. Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Well, so he does a lot of stuff like with we were talking about earlier with feedback, holding the Big Bang. It's basically I forget what the device is called. The device that like blows up universes. He gets attacked with one of those, but it's like a souped up version that destroys the multiverse or some shit.
Was it like, what is it, like a neutrino bomb, or am I thinking of something else?
Something like that. It's like an owl.
It was something like that.
It might be Ultrino. But he gets hit with that, and the OMNITRIX and its failsafe activates, and him with feedback and basically every alien possible in the OMNITRIX holds the power of the Big Bang and then fires it. So it's fucking tough, dude. Like some of these other ones, like I have Way Big, and I forget his name, but the gravity dude here, like Way Big deflects a laser beam that would crack the Earth in half, and like the gravity dude creates a black hole. But holding the Big Bang in your palms is pretty up there, I would say. That's kind of like
that's huge.
Holding a singularity is a hell of a feat.
That is the feat.
Yeah.
I think that is the feat itself.
And then you have obviously the most famous Alien X, who is able to rewrite the universe and even goes to a bunch of fifth dimensional like aliens that are so incomprehensible to our minds that Ben's mind has to imagine them as smoothies to be able to see them. And Alien X is basically able to cut through force fields made by these fifth dimensional aliens with almost no effort. It's a tough dude.
He literally resets the universe.
Yeah. Just
resets it. Just whoop.
Oh, sorry, hold on. And then done.
Sorry, hold on.
He's got some whack-ass shit.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Restart.
Yeah, it's crazy how, like, powerful some of these aliens are. Because there's some of them that are, like Wild Mutt. Like, it's just a dog, you know?
Or, like, Lockjaw or whatever it was.
Or, Ripjaw. Like, it's just a fish dude. And then you have, like...
He's not even... A fish dude that's not even isn't effective out of water, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, he has to be in the water.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, in the original series he does.
No, he spends like half the episode of the Leviathan outside of the water.
Doesn't he get all like...
No, not in that episode at least.
Oh, I thought
maybe it's a specific plot point in a different episode, but...
Could be.
But yeah, next to aliens, like Feedback and Alien X, obviously it makes them feel a lot smaller.
Yeah.
There are some, like we were talking about Accelerate, because he's running effectively the speed of light, if not just below. If he was ever to hit you with his mass, he would hit you with roughly the force of 1,200 Zarbombas. So imagine just dying, vaporized. You'd be gone.
Just just like ah,
Yeah,
just
like
out of here.
you wouldn't even have time to comprehend how much it hurts. Like you would just be gone.
Yeah.
Like you would, your cells would burn, collapse, and disintegrate faster than the people on the Titanic submarine. You know, like it would just be super quick.
It just
You'd be done.
yeah, snap of a finger. You're done.
Zip,
Goodbye,
zesto,
everyone.
nothing.
Mhm.
And that's about it. There's no like real other specific aliens I really feel like the need to bring up. Like these are obviously some of the most powerful, including the most powerful, and I think Alien X and Feedback for top number 1 and 2 is right about there.
I think I'd put from like the ones that I can remember. I think I'd put like personally. Now I know these guys are a little lower. Yeah, I think I'd put Ghost Freak at number 4.
I mean, Ghost
because
Freak's pretty
Wade
big
is
because he's
at-
like incorporeal, so you can't hit him.
yeah, he can just shift in and out. And then I think I would. God, what the fuck? I would put Way Big, I think,
Humongosaur?
after him.
Oh yeah.
I think Way Big. I think Way Big triumphs over Humongosaur. Yeah.
I don't remember. I think there's something that Humongosaur's got like the strongest, like as far as stuff on screen. If I remember right, Humongosaur has like the greatest feat of strength. Way Big's like because Way Big's greatest thing is just like the energy buster beam, but doesn't necessarily do anything super strong. But I don't remember.
See, but I don't. But I don't. Way Big doesn't get enough time, like screen time.
Well, that too. He only shows up a couple times.
He's only used a couple of times, which is why I.
But that's
Like,
exactly
I
like
think
he
it's different.
theoretically probably is stronger. We just haven't seen it.
Yeah. Because then I think
But-
I'm only saying that because every single time he's on screen, he whoops fucking ass.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and
except for that
just
one time he got
destroys
knocked
shit.
out.
Yeah, but then didn't he get
But at
back
least
up
he-
and whoop more ass?
I don't remember.
No, I think he transformed form. I don't know, but
yeah.
like there's one time, but out of every other time, he just absolutely fucking whoops ass.
Yeah. Moving on from aliens, we're actually going to go out into the universe now and talk about the plumbers, who are basically the Lantern Corps, but in my opinion, cooler. You know,
Yep.
they're just space cops,
Yep.
essentially.
Yep.
Including Grandpa, obviously, Max Tennyson. So this is also something I didn't realize, that the plumber corps goes all the way back to the United States founding fathers, and Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and George Washington were some of the first plumbers. They were fighting paranormal stuff in like the 1800s or whatever, right? And then I think shortly after, alien stuff started happening, and then it just like exploded from there, and it branched out into all sorts of paranormal alien stuff. And now, obviously, they patrol like the whole galaxy. And Vilgax is, I think, their first big like number 1 wanted thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, they
I
do
think-
that,
I think-
and then like that's where like the null void comes from, where it's kind of like what's the one from Superman, the Phantom Zone, where they just
the
shove
Phantom Zone.
people in like this pocket dimension, and they're like, stay there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. God. The plumber, it was always a crazy thing because like it wasn't a whole RV, like just a big plumber van.
Basically,
Like,
I love
like,
as
ready to
well
go.
how quickly it comes out, because like Max Grandpa is like dropping hints about his like knowledge of aliens from like the very first episode,
Yeah.
where like Ben is like sitting there as what's his name, Fire whatever,
Heat blast.
Heat Blast. And they're like, what are you? And Max is like, he's an alien, obviously. He's like, or well, you know, I'm guessing. And it's like, oh, you know exactly what's happening.
Like, you know exactly what he is. Yeah.
Yeah, and he always seems like a little bit too cool-headed whenever they're fighting aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that he's always seemed very like a little more calm than one probably should be.
And it's like, how many of these have you fought, Grandpa?
yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting. I didn't know that George Washington started it, but
No, I didn't either.
I think that comes up in Omniverse, because if I remember right, the episode where he holds the Big Bang is also a part of the episode where they go back and they meet George Washington. But it's some crazy. It goes into some crazy comic book territory, and it's definitely worth the watch. If we move on, so now we're gonna go over like the few friends or whatever that he has. These are mostly like the original series and Ultimate. Again, Omniverse stuff and the reboot stuff is kind of being omitted here. He does have stuff like he has like a plumber agent buddy in Omniverse, but I don't have him included in here.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he was kind of weaker, I think, compared to the kind of the original cast.
So we'll go over first. Gwendolyn Tennyson and Kevin Levin, which I fucking love their names so much. Like, Gwen, obviously, as we talked about briefly, she's kind of like ultra wizard. Yeah.
Well, she's an alien. She's half alien.
Well, yeah.
That's all explained in Omniverse. Not Omniverse.
Ultimate.
Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah. That she. So I think her whole story goes that she learns magic, right, in the original thing, and then she goes, "Fuck magic." I didn't realize, because she realized she's half alien. It just gives up magic and kind of, becomes alien. Either like combines the two or whatever.
Yeah. So that's like
God,
Gwen's.
I completely forgot about him as a fucking villain. Holy shit.
Who, Kevin?
Sorry, no. In the original series, I was trying to figure out where the fuck she learned the magic from, but there was like this skull wizard dude that just like cast actual fucking magic at him. Yeah, I can't remember his fucking name. I was trying to figure out like where did she get the magic from, and I just like his face just popped into my fucking brain.
I don't remember it either, but
I remember.
Yeah.
It now. Yeah, I don't remember his name, but.
Yeah, Gwen's got all that going on. It was really hard to find. Like, I had to specifically like search for the TV shows, because if you just search Gwen Ben 10 on Google, there's a fair number of uncomfortably mature images that pull up first, which obviously is the standard for kids' TV shows for some weird fucking reason. But it took a while. But Gwen is up there. Kevin, obviously, he becomes kind of a good guy. He still like has some like darker streaks and shit like that, but
obviously
it's cool to see like his powers in the way where he's like absorbing like Diamond Head and metal and concrete and all this other stuff.
Yeah. Well, it shows how his like his, because it's never really shown how his powers work in the original. I think it's fun that they go back. Yeah, and they're like, how his powers actually work.
They give it like a fresh coat.
Redemption arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think he turns a little bit evil there when he has to absorb the OMNITRIX again to fight somebody.
He becomes like Ultimate Kevin or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, were you looking at Ultimate Kevin?
No, I was looking at Kevin 11,000 earlier. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay. I know the difference.
Sorry.
Because Ultimate Kevin has like the hood and whatever going on from the Blue Beetle guy.
He's got Jet Ray, and then he's got Big Chill's hood and like Jet Ray's kind of like face and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which I really don't like that design. I don't like it's kind of neat, but it's kind of like just a mix match, and it doesn't look good to me.
I wasn't a fan of the design. I think why I liked Kevin 11's like design in the original stuff, because it looked like monstery. You know
kind of. I think it's to me that like they all keep the original colors, so it kind of like is just like this weird random like puke of colors all over the place. Like it's like here's yellow and then red and then orange and then bright blue and then green and it's like this doesn't look good together.
Yeah, and I think I like the original Kevin 11 design better. It feels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just better. Yeah.
And then of course another good friend of Ben 10's for a single like 2-part episode, Generator Rex. Hot take. I've always liked Generator Rex more than Ben 10. Obviously, Ben 10 solos, no doubt. Generator Rex doesn't stand a fucking chance. I love him, but all he can do is make giant robot hands. Ben 10 rewrote the universe. So, unfortunately, he gets soloed, but like, I was a big fan of Generator Rex and kind of like a fan of Ben 10, so like when this thing happened, fucking 13-year-old me was creaming my pants. I loved this so much. And it was just really cool to see. It's just a cool crossover, like to see them like power up. Like you see like Ben turn into Upgrade, and then he like upgrades Generator Rex.
I mean, that's got to be a flex though, kind of in a way. You know what I mean?
What, to like go inside your best friend?
No, I mean that's what we do. So
real love gay people, love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor. Yeah.
That's basically all it is. There's not a whole lot to say about it. It's just a really good crossover type episode. It's kind of like
I remember really liking this as a kid. It was really fun.
It was a lot better than like the Timmy Turner Jimmy Neutron crossover, you know? Like fuck
Yeah,
Nickelodeon. Like the only good thing
yeah,
Nickelodeon has ever done was like the Avatar series, honestly.
yep.
On God.
I agree. On God,
No cap.
no cap. Much, yeah,
And then, of course,
no cap.
as all comic booky things were, especially in like 2016 when like the Omniverse series started, Ben 10 becomes a multiversal thing, which is kind of a thing already in Ultimate Alien, but like in Omniverse, to my understanding, it just goes
Oh, it was
entirely off
wild.
the rails.
Yeah, it was. I think that's why I didn't like it because it felt very
It goes very
off the rails.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was never really a fan of that.
Yeah, but it's like its
Yeah.
own thing. So like we look, there's like infinite possibilities, and this is something I've discovered while looking into it, is that like a lot of people that are in like this sphere of fandom, like the Ben 10 fandom, treat it very much like people do Spider-Man or a lot of these other things. Like, you know, have you heard like people do like spider sonas or whatever, where they like invent their own
Yeah.
multiverse version of Spider-Man that like kind of reflects them as a person or whatever. People have been doing that
Yeah.
same thing with Ben 10, and obviously Ben 10's like aliens and stuff like that. And it is
Yeah.
cool sometimes to go through and see people's like unique designs of like Omnitrixes and like different aliens and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
which ones have you seen?
there's nothing that
Are
I
you
can
talking?
speak to specifically, just like
Are
people
you
making like
talking
fan
about
art
like?
and stuff.
Oh, so it's like you talk like 'cause the Nematrix is a real thing.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah,
there's
and
obviously
there's
real ones, like you have like Albedo and
yeah.
stuff like that. Or Albedo is a clone, isn't he?
No. Albedo was whoever made the Omnitrix, can't remember his name anymore. That was his assistant, who then retried to make the Omnitrix in his own way. Yeah, and then as a
Yeah,
punishment, he stuck to just look like Ben 10 forever.
yeah,
Yeah, that
which
was
is
his punishment.
crazy.
And then there was like an Omnitrix like thing, which literally turned whoever had it into the predators of all the aliens. Yeah.
Huh. I don't remember that one, but yeah,
Um, that might be an Omniverse one. Yeah, but
it
that
might
was
be. I don't
something
remember.
that was real. That one was wild.
But yeah, there is a whole like fandom of people making basically essentially fan art of different multiversal Ben 10s and aliens and stuff like that. And I think it's all very cool to grow through. I didn't like look at anything too specifically, but like just scrolling through Reddit and whatever else when I was doing research for my video and for like this slideshow, a lot of cool stuff out there. Like a lot of stuff that was like, oh, that actually looks like a unique design, and then, you know, then it's just Ben 10 with a fat cock. So like you can't, you can only go too far in one direction before it gets bad. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yep.
Unfortunately, this is the internet.
Hmm.
Rule 34, as they say. And then lastly, I would just like to bring up a little thought experiment. This is effectively the end of the Idiot's Guide. I hope you learned something. If not, I hope you
I hope they do.
I,
It'll
something
be a
like
fun
that.
time at least.
A
Yeah.
lot of interesting things.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to sit here for a little bit and talk about other things that Ben 10 might be able to turn into, or what it might look like if he had done so. Obviously,
Okay.
I have a few different aliens and a mutant on screen here in Omni-Man from Invincible, a Quark from 40K, and then the Hulk.
Ooh. Yeah.
All of which would be possible things for Ben 10 to turn into. Because basically all he needs is something that is like a species that has DNA, but like it doesn't really, because he can also turn into machines like Upgrade or stuff that doesn't exist, like Ghost Freak. He can turn into mutants. It's like a thing he gets later on. There's like a failsafe that stops him, but he can turn it off and do it anyways. So he could turn into something like one of the X-Men or the Hulk. And
Okay.
and it has to be sapient, so it has to be like at his intelligence level or higher. Because if it's a little bit, maybe if it's a little bit lower, you know, like Wild Mutt, it
Yeah.
does have some like long-term effects on his mental health. But if it's completely like just a feral animal, it will fuck him up, and he can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then he doesn't have consciousness. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he can only as far as the actual like species can think. Yeah.
But are there any
Um.
like specific alien like combinations that you think Ben 10 turning into would be really scary or just cool?
like comboing together.
Not comboing together, but like aliens from different universes and stuff like that that you think would make
I don't.
would be crazy.
This might be a weird take. Yeah,
Huh.
but do you remember Oryx?
Oryx from Destiny?
Destiny.
Yeah. Just Prime Oryx.
Hive related, just like Prime Oryx, like summoning Taken. Yeah,
That'd be kind
you
of
know.
crazy, yeah.
I think a lot of that, like just stuff like that, like
Although at that point when I go full witness, you know?
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Just like full, just like you mentioned the witness, but it's just green smoke instead of black smoke. Yeah,
Yeah. Dude, imagine how cool that would be instead of like how it's got all like the faces of the different the all the different aliens together. What if instead of like
Yeah.
the different aliens, it was all just the different aliens in the Omnitrix just floating out? That'd
Yeah,
look that'd go
that
so
would be-
hard.
that'd go so fucking hard. That would
I know
go
we don't
so
have any
fucking
fans,
hard.
but if anyone out there wants to, somebody make art of that. That would be fucking awesome.
That would be so dope. That would look so fucking cool. I think my biggest one, Winston.
From Overwatch.
I think Winston. You gotta. Winston's just a banger pick. Yeah, you know, he just
That's-
transforms and goes monkey.
That's definitely an option. That's definitely I was gonna say, you know what I thought of right away? Deathclaw.
Are they that smart though? Are they smart enough?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe yeah, because they're more like animals.
More, a little more.
That would
feral.
suck, but
Yeah. He could transform into like a non. He could just transform into a ghoul, non-feral one.
yeah, just Hancock.
By himself. Yeah, just Hancock. Just with it.
Maybe.
With it.
Actually, you know what? There is a bunch of dragons. Say like, I mean, you have stuff like Alduin from Skyrim,
Yeah.
but I was actually going to bring up. Do you know what Ancalagon the Black is?
No.
So I'll have to bring it up.
fucking idea.
Actually, hold on. Let me close
While you
this
do that,
on the
you know it'd be a
podcast.
dope transformation.
What?
An Illithid.
Oh, from Baldur's Gate? That'd be an interesting one.
think
He
it'd
could
be
he could probably go all the way up to what do you call it? The Elder Brain, actually.
Probably, but I feel like the Illithid would be cooler though. Yeah,
It would be.
I think it would be a lot. Like, it'd be
I
a lot
wonder how
cooler.
much like control he would have over other people at that point.
Yeah, because it's yeah.
Like because it's like super boosted. Oh, hold on. So this
Do
is
you
here.
think-
What's up?
Do you think he could transform into something like a cyberized human being, like Adam Smasher?
I don't think Adam Smasher, because Adam Smasher isn't like like Upgrade is its own thing because it's like a sentient machine, but Adam Smasher is just a human with a lot of augments. Like he still has a brain up top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Adams. That was one of the few. Like, 'cause I was gonna say something like V, but you know what I mean?
Like they're just
I would just-
augmented. They're not like
Yeah.
a separate thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say they could probably turn into like a Astartes, like a Space Marine, because they're described in Warhammer as like the Space Marines are so far removed from humanity that like regular people will see them and get a transhuman dread.
Yeah.
So like something like that maybe.
Darkseid would be a dope pick.
Yeah, he would do that. Have the Omega beams.
Doomsday would be insane. Yeah.
Yeah, never die. Or Venom.
Never die. Venom would be. Oh yeah. Well, no, because do you want to know why I wouldn't think it'd be cool?
Why?
Because he would turn into the symbiote, so he would still need a host. Do you remember Goop
Maybe, yeah.
from the Ultimatrix one for Ultimate Alien?
I
Like the green slime guy
know,
there,
yeah, I
like
do.
the Alien saucer. I think that would be the same concept.
Maybe,
Right? Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause he's transforming into the symbiote, not the actual like full thing. Yeah. It would be
Does-
like Upgrade, but in like a different way.
No, yeah, because he
You know what
does
I mean?
need a host. Yeah, it would be like a more
Yeah.
like natural upgrade.
Yeah, it would be like biotic upgrade or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this pulled up here. It's a little bit blurry, a little bit hard to see. Do you see this image, this graph of dragons I have pulled up?
Yeah.
So, have you watched the Hobbit movies? You know who Smaug is? So Smog, if we're looking at this tiny little worm over here on the far left, that's Smog.
Okay. Oh, lovely.
And
Jesus. Oh,
and Caligon the Black is this really big guy over on the far right.
Jesus.
And he was said to be the size of 3 mountains, and he set off volcanoes when he died.
Lovely. That's incredible.
Yeah.
You know what one? And we're sticking in the Ben 10 universe for this one. Maybe it's already happened. I don't remember.
What's
Maybe
up?
I don't remember. But you guess. Take a guess. Take a guess.
Guess for what?
With the transformation, and it's an alien in the Ben 10 universe, and maybe it already has happened. I don't know.
Like an
Yeah,
alien that he
take a
hasn't
guess.
turned into?
Yeah,
Vilgax.
dude, for sure, 100%.
Imagine if he was fighting
Yeah.
Vilgax and he just did that, where he just like copied him and turned into a better version of Vilgax.
Yeah, just.
Dude, he could just reverse Uno anybody, you know?
He really could. Any alien that touches it, he just becomes the better version.
Yeah.
Right?
And like with the mutant thing, technically he could, if he had that turned off, he could just turn into a better version of Kevin 11.
Truly, he could, because he could just combine all of this stuff.
Could he turn into a version of Kevin 11 and then absorb his own powers of the Omnitrix?
Oh my God! You're Jesus Christ!
Do you think that would work?
God. You know what? Something tells me that Safeguard would kick into the Omnitrix and the universe would just die.
He would like turn into Kevin 11, try to touch it, and it would just explode.
It would just go immediately on impact. It's over.
Oh, maybe.
Jesus, I think.
Jesus. He could. I mean, if he could turn into Alien X, I don't see why he couldn't turn into the Almighty Holy Spirit, you know?
Kratos, I think, would be a. Do you imagine?
Kratos would fit, yeah. Kratos with like the Ben 10 watch.
God of War. Yeah, the next God of War game. The door opens again. It's just Kratos, but he's got the Omnitrix symbol in like the center of his chest.
He's wearing like the
actual
black and white
Kratos.
jumpsuit.
Yeah, it's just like you just see like you hear the Ben 10 transformation. It's just Kratos with the Omnitrix. Yeah.
No, it's
In the
like
center looking at
it's just like a
original Kratos.
regular episode of Ben 10, and he's like getting kicked around or whatever. Like he turns into Wrath, and Wrath gets like thrown on the ground. And he's like, "I know how to deal with you," and he like transforms, and you just see like Kratos' feet, and you just hear the dun dun dun.
And just the blades just drop to the floor.
That'd be incredible. Yeah.
God,
He's
you think?
fucking
You got
a
anything?
powerful dude. He could turn into Saiyans like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Probably Jedi, because like Jedi are like genetically distinct. Like they have midichlorians,
Yeah.
so like he
Yeah.
could turn into
Yeah,
Anakin,
Yeah.
like Prime
Yeah.
Anakin.
He could turn into Marcus Phoenix.
Well, they're just human. I don't know if he can turn into other
like a-
humans.
No. But
Well, they're like a
Marcus
different version of
planets?
humans. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a different version of you, which means the DNA is just.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Which means technically he could join the coalition.
Yeah, I think they would take him as just himself, though. Like, I don't think he needs to turn into like a Gears of War version of like a Gears of War version of Ben 10, where he's
Would
just
he be
like
able
he's been
to
on
turn
trend.
in- Would he be able to turn in like just fucked up Ben 10? Just on fucking steroids. Would he be able to turn in somebody from the Locust?
Yeah, they are genetically distinct. Maybe even the Lambent. Well, no, because they're more mindless. Not all of the Locusts either, too, because like probably like
Yes.
Therons and above, because like Boomers are
Yeah.
are very like riding the line, and then same with drones. And then obviously stuff like Wretches and stuff are very Berserkers are very animalistic. Corpsers, Brumox.
I've got one for you.
But he can definitely go like Rom. What's up?
I think Lightning McQueen.
Technically, I could. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. Or like the pea shooter from Plants vs. Zombies.
Or are they smart?
Yeah, they've got sentience to them.
They
Yeah.
do.
They
They have more sentience than Crazy Dave does.
Yeah, truly. Truly. I don't know. I feel like I don't know.
It's just cool, like how many different like like to think of
Yeah.
like an alien from like a random sci-fi universe and just be like, oh, Ben 10 could become that, you know, like he could
Yeah, he
imagine
could.
Jabba the Hutt, prime
Like
Jabba the
he
Hutt.
literally he becomes like a Frankenstein monster basically in Ultimatrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just becomes Frankenstein. Yeah, he could do any of that really.
Yeah, he's basically like there. He could become almost anything. Like
He could
the
Galactus Ben 10.
the intelligence thing is more of a hindrance than like the DNA thing for him.
Yeah, because all he needs is a sample of the DNA. Like he could become like Galactus.
But it's
like
not
a
even like
celestial.
DNA. Like he turns into robots and ghosts. You
Yeah,
know,
true.
like and a god. Like
True. Like yeah, it's just
I don't know how much control he has over like the Alien X form, but I think isn't that all like autopilot?
there's no there's two voices in his head and they argue to make decisions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like a council of stuff, but he's basically invincible and you can't move him when he's like that.
Do you
Yeah.
think if he like tried to do something like he tried to like become the Hulk, if he would like have to fight the Hulk inside of him, or if he would just become like Professor Hulk?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. Because I feel like it's copying the DNA, right? Yeah, so I feel like he'd have to fight the Hulk. I feel like it'd be a Ghost Freak thing. Yeah, where he
Maybe,
has
yeah.
to like fight with maybe not like the Hulk persona, but like a Ben Hulk persona.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's just like a really angry Ben on the inside.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot I like. I don't like. God, can you think of anybody else?
Well, it's so because like you could literally just like here if I go to Google and I just look up sci-fi universe or
Yeah.
whatever, right? And you just go off like
Yeah.
the top 10. Halo, like the Covenant, like an elite.
Well, he could become like he could transform into like one of the hive mind controllers of the Flood. You know?
Yeah, the I forget what it's called. Gravemind, maybe I think so.
He could. Yeah, it's a grave mind. He could transform to a grave mind and control the Flood and take control over other people. Yeah.
Yeah, because it has like its own thing.
Yeah. He could literally try. He could transform into a Spartan. Yeah, couldn't he?
Yeah,
Or is that still too similar to the same thing?
I don't know if they have genetic things or if they are just augmented.
But yeah, he could anybody in the Covenant, or whatever the elite guys.
Yeah, the elites or like the Prometheans or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. He could turn into the Emperor from Subnautica.
Yep. Yep.
Giant fish.
Oh, like there's so many. There's
There's just so many options.
there's so many options. There's
It's-
so many things.
I'm trying to think. Like you can become fucking straight up Yoda.
Real. He really fucking could. Or the same species.
Prime Yoda.
Yeah.
Yoda, but he's not fucking
That's
old.
insane. Yeah.
Because it also scales to like whatever age. So like, say like if he was to become Omni Man, he would scale to like a basically Mark, like Invincible.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if
Insane.
that's necessarily a good thing because he would be prime 16-year-old Viltrumite, but Viltrumites get stronger as they are like get older.
See, and I feel like if you were to go up against Omni Man, there's better picks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has aliens stronger than Omni Man.
Yeah, and I'm trying to avoid obviously bringing up like the big ones that like Alien X.
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff like
Alien
that.
X
Like,
solos
I mean,
literally everything.
yeah, everything. It doesn't matter. Like
Yeah,
Ben 10 is fun because there's a lot of utility, right?
yeah.
Whenever I talk
It's
about it,
creative to
people
just
put
like come up
versus-
with stuff like that.
People put them in versus scenarios, and I'm like, well, you kind of gotta get rid of like the super overpowered ones that know.
Yeah.
Know solo.
Like if you limit him to like the original 10 and stuff like that, like it's a lot more balanced. But like if you just give him like his full cast, he's not. There's very few instances in which he loses.
I think it's all about trying to have fun with picking aliens. Like, what would be like a fun, genuine mix-up?
He could become Eren from Attack on Titan.
He could.
The full founding
You could
Titan
just-
thing. Imagine that giant ass founding Titan, but it's just got like the big Ben 10 logo like right in the chest.
He could become Megatron.
Yeah. You become
Yeah, or
Omnicron.
Optimus Prime. Or Unicron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Ego.
Yep.
There's we could sit here and like rattle off like cool shit all day every day.
Yeah.
uh,
Anything like that's yeah.
it's just
Well,
there's a lot of cool stuff. Ben 10 is just a
so
fucking
so
cool character.
so here's my question, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about Destiny yet. Do you think if Ben 10 got the light and had a ghost, do you think all of his aliens would then also get the light?
I mean, he is his aliens, like, because he is
Yeah.
still his aliens when he's transformed. It's not like he's like not himself anymore.
So what you're telling me, what class do you think Ben 10 would be? What class?
Uh, Probably Warlock, honestly, because he's like a lot
So
about
what
using
you're
his smarts.
so what you're telling me, yeah? I want you to picture this, yeah? Transforms in a way big and casts the largest Nova Bomb you've ever seen. Yeah?
Yeah,
Like it's
but I'd also like to see way big Thunder Crash. You know what I'm saying?
oh my god. Could you imagine being like, we're losing the battle, it's the witness, yeah?
Yeah.
It's like the witness turns around to see this big, like, fucking towering thunder crashing straight into his ship. Yeah.
Like, you know that boss fight with Oryx where you see Oryx at like his full size? You're like basically fighting him from the shoulders up.
Yeah.
Like it would look like that, but thunder crashing at you.
Could you imagine you're just like you're in that, and you just see some like fucking alien just bitch slap Oryx? Yeah.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
God. It's always so fun to give
Yeah.
characters like oh, like what would it be like?
Every single time you're like, what would happen if Omni Man had the light? And it's like, he would probably. Well, I mean, Thunder Crash is kind of what he does already.
Yeah.
So like,
he's a Titan.
yeah, well for sure. But he would like he like already has Thunder Crash, but then he would land after Thunder Crashing and then like
Yeah.
you know,
Yep. Yep. He would bubble.
or yeah,
Whatever.
bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd bubble.
That would be
There's not a lot of-
horrifying.
Ben 10 would go crazy in the Skylanders universe. Yeah, he'd never have to buy another Skylander. You can just transform into
Yeah,
all types.
just change him out. Dude, actually,
Angry Bird Ben 10.
Mr. Incredible.
True. True. I feel like he's already got aliens that can do that.
But you know, just extra. If he also wants to look like a middle-aged dad.
Yeah.
Or what was the other one I was about to think of? No, you know what would be ultimately, because he has turned into like video games and stuff, like his upgrade, he like encoded himself into a video game.
Yep.
Steve.
Minecraft Steve?
Yeah.
No. He would become Hero Brian. Yeah.
What? Because Hero Brian is like Prime Steve.
Yeah, Prime Steve. Yeah. Hear me out. Funny Freddy Fazbear. Yeah.
I don't know how sapient they are. I mean, I guess so. They're more like cursed souls.
I kind of almost look at them more like they function.
Imagine you get like you like see Freddy like sitting in like a back room on the camera or whatever, and instead of like the her, it's just like the Ben 10 theme starts playing, like it looks directly in the camera, and it just like you hear that
sprinting at the door.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Well, this has been
It can be anything, yeah.
yeah.
Before we close out, yeah.
Yeah.
Before we close out, I do have one question.
What's up?
Who do you think wins, Scott?
Okay.
The Warhammer 40k universe or Ben 10?
Well, to answer that,
See,
you're going to have to go over to Buster McTunder and watch that video, which is either up yesterday or it will be up in a week. Well, I'm not answering that here. You're going to have to go watch the video.
Thank
and
you
that's
all for watching so much.
Thank you all very much for checking this out. If you've sat through this entire thing, I mean, you're kind of crazy, but good. Yeah, good for you. Commendable.
Yeah.
Maybe you are next in line for the Omnitrix. We will see you all next time with something fun, something new, something different. And this has been it. Court is now over. Whatever the fuck Ben said at the top of this.
And remember,
As always,
Kyle, as always,
go fuck yourselves.
fuck yourself.
Hello, it's me again. If you listen to this whole thing, you're either crazy, like literally probably insane, or you've got a spirit that just cannot be beat. But to clarify, The video I'm talking about, my video on Ben 10 versus the Warhammer universe, will be up in a week. If you're watching this on the day it comes out, it will be coming out on Friday, August 2nd. Otherwise, it's already up. Go to the channel, link below. Buster McTunder, check it out. It's a lot of fun. See ya.